Welcome to another exciting adventure, a biker for dummies. Now, if you're an intelligent biker, you may not have a lot of interest in this video because it's for dummies. The question of today is, how can I earn or can I wear a one percenter patch? That's a pretty good question. Before we answer that, let's look at the history a little bit of the one percenters. After the close of World War II, many of the veterans were coming home to a different kind of experience they had been used to in combat. You know, when they were in combat, they were full of adrenaline and they had that male camaraderie. They came home with that post-traumatic stress, a lot of them. And they were looking for ways to adapt to life back in the States. There was already a number of motorcycle clubs that were apparent at the time, and so it seemed to be a perfect fit for these guys to join these motorcycle clubs, where they could relive the adrenaline, the male bonding, and just that hardcore life on the motorcycle, riding every day, drinking, partying heavy. So that's kind of where the culture of motorcycle clubs really began to grow. So throughout the 1930s, the American Motorcycle Association always hosted a biker rally or an event in Hollister, California. And all of these clubs would kind of converge on this area. And at that time, it wasn't that huge of a thing. Nothing like the Sturgis or the Daytona or the big rallies that we see today. But it was in, I believe, 1947. And July 3rd, they hosted this big rally there in Hollister, California. So all these bikers converged on this little town of Hollister. Now, it was said that there were so many bikers there, the population of the town literally doubled. And the police force was so small, they didn't know how to deal with it. Although it wasn't anything really that bad. You just had motorcycles roaring up and down Main Street. But within a couple days, they started running out of food. The grocery stores were getting empty. They were running out of beer. The police had pushed all the bikers down into one part of town, and they set up a stage platform there and put a band up there and told the band, just keep playing, entertain these guys to keep them, subdued or calmed down. So I think when all was said and done for that weekend, there was really only a handful of arrests that were actually made, 2 or 3 arrests. I think you had a couple bar fights, maybe a broken window or 2, but that was about it. It wasn't anything serious. As it was recorded, some of the clubs that were in attendance there were the Pissed Off Bastards of Bloomington, the Booze Fighters, we've heard of them, the Market Street Commandos, the Top Hatters Motorcycle Club, and the Galloping Goose. Only about 10% of these people were women, mostly all men. By the end of the weekend, by July 5th, everything seemed to calm back down. All the bikers went home, and all was well. Wasn't a big deal. So shortly after that weekend, the San Francisco Chronicle was reported to have published 2 articles, Havoc in Hollister and Hollister's Bad Time. So they really made it sound like it was something really awful. And in that article, they quoted the AMA as stating that 99% of the motorcyclists are good, law-abiding people. So what does that leave you with? 1%. And that's where the term one percenter came in, that 1% were the real badasses, the bad apples, the troublemakers. The rest of them were all 99% good people. Although as time went on, the AMA said there's no record of us ever making that statement, and we were saying we never made that statement. Somebody did. But there was a photo published, and it was supposedly taken right there on Main Street in Hollister, of a rowdy old biker sitting on this Harley, beer bottles all around him. And if you look into the history of that photo, it was taken by a professional photographer, and the whole picture was posed. So there was beer bottles that were collected from inside the bar, brought outside, piled up around the bike to make it look like he drank all of those. That wasn't the case at all. And if you go back in the archives and look at that photo, you'll actually find a couple different poses of that particular picture that were taken during that time. So it was definitely fake news, I guess you call it nowadays, but it was all posed. It wasn't a actual, photograph taken just at random. So there you go. So how can I earn a 1% patch? I'm sure that the clubs have different protocol for this, different rules. I'm not sure what all those are. Maybe you know. Comment, let me know. Some people just decide on their own. I'm a real badass, so I'm deeming myself 1%. And the patch goes on somewhere on their cut. Mostly it goes along with Outlaws. Now you can easily pick one of these 1%er patches up off eBay. $3.78. Buy it now for a black and white vest patch. See, there you go. You could go buy your own and just sew it on your vest, and boom, you're a 1%er. I would warn you, though, if you're going to fly that 1%, you better be able to defend it. Say you're in a place and you run into an outlaw that is truly 1%, which you're telling everybody that you're the baddest of the baddest. You must be able to defend that. So be prepared to defend yourself some way or another. You're going to have to prove that you're worthy of wearing a 1%. What have you done to earn that? How tough are you to continue to wear that patch? That's up to you. I've even seen some guys with it tattooed, on them somewhere, 1%. So it's pretty hardcore. So my bottom line is, if you're a troublemaker, if you're the baddest, go ahead and wear the patch. You won't see me wearing one, because I'm not going to try to defend that. It's not even worth my effort. I don't claim to be a bad troublemaker. I've always been quite the opposite, kind of mellow and laid back. So no reason for me to try to prove myself that I'm tougher than you. That ain't gonna happen. There you go, cats. Hope you enjoyed that. If you got comments, post them below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you a 1%er? How did you earn yours? How did you get it? Or did you just go on eBay and buy it for $3.78? Till next time, cats, ride hard and die free.